Have you figured out your niche? Are you helping adding value to other people's lives? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to Munira's Musings with your host, Munira Zahabi.
Greetings, Chicagoland. This is Munira. How are you? We are here with a guest local to the area, Cathy Mckinnon. Hi, Cathy.
Good morning, Chicagoland. And yes, I am local. Every time we talk, we're so close geographically, and we yet, and probably predominantly due to COVID, have not met in person.
Yes, we haven't because we're still waiting for that right time, but
Yes.
It's going to happen soon. You are about an hour or so away. You're up northwest, right?
Yes, a little north. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm in Naperville, Illinois.
Okay.
And so the thing is that we are neighbors, but yet we are so far because of COVID. But welcome to our show where we showcase a person who has walked and found their niche. And we want to hear your journey. We want to hear your trials and tribulations and what you are doing with the gifts that you've received. So welcome to our show. I am Munira Zahabi. I am the niche navigator where we help you figure out your niche, especially if you're a businesspreneur. So our guest, Cathy Mckinnon, she is a wellness, right? A wellness coach.
Yes.
And she helps people take the next step. Now, what is your specialty? There's so many different kinds of wellness coach. So tell me what you do and how you do it.
Yes, and to your point, we hear the word coach thrown around a lot lately, especially more so now than ever before. And so I think a lot of people get kind of confused in what do they do and why would I need one? And that's what a lot of what I talk to my clients and potential clients about is my unique style of coaching. Because yes, I am a certified health coach. I am a certified life coach. But when I work with a woman, I look at her life holistically. I believe you can't just focus on one thing, such as losing weight, because a lot of that is driven by your mindset and your thoughts. So we work on what I call the top 5 areas. And I work with them on setting goals and a path to get to that vision for their life. And maybe that vision for their life does include a weight loss. However, we need to look at the bigger picture to make sure that we're addressing the underlying issues.
So how did you find these 5 areas?
Oh, a lot of soul searching, a lot of transforming myself. Because I used to be that person that just said, oh, I just need to lose weight. I just need to get to this particular number on the scale and everything will be so much better. And I did that. I lost weight. I got to the number on the scale and everything wasn't magically better. And that's when I started to dive into a lot of the mindset work, working on relationships, working on career, working on these different areas that maybe my unhappiness was being driven by these other factors, not necessarily the number on the scale. So really that's what drove me to get to that point was, how do you find your happy? How do you find your joy? And not be focused on necessarily if it's the number on the scale or not. That's not what's driving your unhappiness per se.
So what you are helping women do is find the inner happiness, not just lose weight, but that could be a factor of it.
It could absolutely be a factor of it. And there's so many different options as to what could be a factor to, finding that joy and confidence in your life. But that's, to me, is what it's about. It's helping women love their life and live a life that they love. And when you find that, whether it has any impact on the scale or not, you just show up so much differently in the world and you view life so much differently that you're living instead of just surviving.
So you said that you were in this mold, if you will. Then
Yes.
Why do women create this mold and become the people that are not living and other people that are surviving? Why do you think that is?
There's several factors. I think fear is a big piece of it, right? What if I do this and people still don't like me? What if I do this and I let my family down? What if I do this and it doesn't work, right? That fear of failure, that fear of not, being seen or loved if you change, whatever it is that you're looking to change. There's some people who stay in, careers, and that's driving their unhappiness because they just fear change. They're kind of safe or comfortable where they're at. So I think fear is a big piece of it. I think not feeling that you're worthy of all that confidence and joy. And that could stem from your childhood. If in your childhood you didn't feel worthy, you didn't feel noticed, you didn't feel heard, maybe you feel like that's just not for you, which is absolutely not true. You're so worthy of this incredible thing we call life. But it's a lot of those beliefs that kind of are ingrained in us from our childhood, whether we believe them or not. I know, you could ask somebody, do you have limiting beliefs? And they'll be like, no, nothing's stopping me. And as you start to peel back the onion, as I say, then you start to figure out that there's still things lingering or things that had a lasting impact that they overheard as a child. And it's those things that we need to kind of course correct.
So you mentioned the 5 things that women find themselves in that bucket. Yeah. What are the 5 things?
So we have health, your physical health, your mental health. We have relationships, whether that's a romantic relationship or relationships with friends, colleagues, building those relationships. There's career, and then there's connection to something greater, whether that's a particular religion for you or just being spiritual, finding that connection.
Emotional health, physical health, spiritual health,
Mm-hmm.
And what else did you say?
Relationships.
Yeah, relationships.
And then career.
Career. Okay, so is this what you've seen in your path as you help women? And when you help women, what are the ages of the women that you help?
Predominantly, I do see these as the main areas of women where we'll find kind of something that's triggering them or something that they want to focus on to up level. Maybe they've just been focused on one of those 5 areas and now they feel and realize that another is lacking. And so we bring that one as the priority or focal point. So we do see it a lot. And we see it as, a woman necessarily focusing on one thing or another. Maybe I'm focusing on physical health, but I'm neglecting my mental health. And so we need to kind of bring some sort of balance to make sure that we're incorporating those pieces. The age of women that I help is, I would say the average age of the women that I help is between 30 and 45.
Okay, so most people, if they don't recognize, they don't know they need help. And right. Most women are going to deny that they need help.
Oh, absolutely. We're great at that, aren't we? I'm fine.
Oh, yeah. We're good because we are fine and we can handle anything that is thrown to us.
Mm-hmm.
How then do women, who are the women who contact you and how do they recognize they need help?
Predominantly the women that contact me are the women who are ready for a change. They feel stuck. They feel like no matter what they're doing, they're not making progress. They feel kind of this just going through the motions. They're not really happy or necessarily living. They're doing things every day, but they're not laughing or really having fun. They're not doing things that light them up. And so they just feel incredibly frustrated. And that's kind of what I say to them is, why are you coming to me? What is it that you're looking to change? And then it is, why do you want to change that? Because you'll start to understand that it may not be that thing that they thought it was that needs to change, but that's the thing that's triggering them.
Okay. So let's talk about how you found your niche. You said you were in one of those buckets. You had lost weight. And then did you find a coach that helped you? And let's talk a little bit about your journey, if that's okay.
Yes. My journey to get to this place that I am today was a long journey. It started about 12 years ago. I was diagnosed with cancer, which just rocked my world. I was not yet 30. and I was being told I had cancer, and I had no family history. I had no symptoms. I'm eternally grateful that they found it early, of course. However, it would just changed my perception on what I was doing and why I was doing things, because to be honest, before that, I was a carefree 20-something, not paying any attention to what I was doing with life. I thought I had all the time in the world, as we do in our 20s. So that changed my perception of life. And after that, I had this journey to have my son, which was a 5-year infertility journey, which put my body and my mind kind of through the ringer, right? It's very much a mental journey as well when you're dealing with infertility, because you don't feel adequate as a woman. And that's really why I decided to share my story about infertility, because I didn't want another woman to feel as broken and alone as I did during that journey. I felt, I took it very personal, like it was me personally broken and nobody else understood, which we know now is not a true statement. It affects a lot of women. But at the time, I went down this very dark depression. And so I had that. And then shortly after my son was born, I dealt with a divorce. And so any one of those things could have destroyed me, right? And had me just live kind of a subpar, mediocre life. And it was after my divorce, and I just said, we're going to put all of this behind us, and we are going to start fresh, and we are going to enjoy our lives, and we're going to, do the things that we really want and enjoy, and laugh and play, because life is too short and you never know. Cancer can come back. I knock on wood every day that it has not, but we don't know what tomorrow brings. And so I did a lot of personal development. I did a lot of mindset work. I became actually confident in my body, where I don't have to be obsessed with the scale every day, whatever it says, or hitting a certain number, which is very much how I used to be, because my self-worth was based on that. And I now understand it's bigger than that. So, going through all the mindset work, going through working with a coach, as you said, I'm a coach who believes people need coaches. So I had a coach myself. I had a health coach. I had a business coach. I had a life coach. I've had coaches in all different areas. And even today, I have an accountability partner. So we check in with each other. Hey, what's new? What's going on with you? How can we help each other? We have these areas where people can help us grow and see things from a perspective that we can't see ourselves sometimes. And why would you not help yourself in that way?
No, that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your story. It takes a strong woman to understand that you can share your story and still smile about it, right? Because most women would just break down. And that's been the positive for me, because 2 years ago, had you asked me to share my story, I would have gone into a full-blown panic attack. I couldn't even speak my story. I couldn't even articulate the words. So to me, it's been, as much as I'm helping others, and my goal was to go out and help others, I have done massive healing myself through helping others. And so I benefit from this as much as the women that I'm helping. Okay. No, this is good. So I understand that completely. Now, so you found solace, you found peace in finding the answers that you're looking for. However, and you've taken it as a life mission, if you will, to help other women going through the same thing. What is the one advice that you would tell everybody, all women out there, that they have to take?
The one thing that I tell everybody is that you have to take life with intention, right? So many days, and I know as a mom, it's easy to do. You just go through the checklist of to-do items, right? I need to do this and that today. But you need to make sure that you are intentional with taking care of you. And that includes physically moving your body. That includes doing something for yourself, whether it's reading a book, whether it's going out for a bike ride, something that brings you joy every day. And I know during this COVID time, a lot of us have tapped into kind of things that brought us joy, maybe from our childhood. I was actually maybe a few weeks ago out roller skating with my son, and it's been years since I had roller skated, but we laughed and we played and we had fun, even given all the craziness that was going on. And I think that's so important.
No, but that's the thing. See, we've forgotten the childishness in our lives. We've become so adults. And I think part of it is when you are, and I see this with my grandkids. So my grandkids are of all different ages. And the oldest one is just 10. The other ones, and the 10-year-olds are always told, act your age, don't laugh and everything. And I see the importance now. I mean, I used to do that with my kids, but now I see the importance of how childlike play is so innocent, one, and two, that should never leave us. Now when I laugh at myself, when there's family gatherings and I say something and I laugh at myself, my kids will look at me like, why? And I'm like, I enjoy it, so I'm going to do it, but the thing is, we have forgotten how to be creative, to be childlike, to be just able to laugh at anything and everything. I have a 3-year-old grandchild who just, she is amazing, and she'll come here and she'll be the life of the party, and she doesn't care if anybody's listening to her or not. She'll just sing her song, and she's into Lion King right now, and philosophy is what she's going to talk about, and she doesn't know the meaning of the word, but she says it perfectly and she sings it. I love the fact that they're so innocent, but they haven't lost the touch.
No, like that light, airy feeling that children feel because they just play as if they're free. Like, why do we lose that as we grow up, right?
Yeah.
Like we let the world like weigh us down, as opposed to still having that lightness about us.
Because we're always told to act our age, and we never know what that is.
I don't know what that means. What does it mean?
Yeah, and so I remember, because you're supposed to be poised and not speak and this thing, but now I think the parenting skills have changed a little bit, where the young generation, like the kids of my kids, are now taking their kids on a different journey compared to what we took. So I think that generation gap and the fact that we parent differently now is different. But this is interesting. We could talk about this all day. But Cathy, how do people find you?
My website is wellnesswarriorcoaching.com. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram under Wellness Warrior Coaching.
Okay. And do you have a calendar where people can book some time with you?
Yeah, so if you go onto my website, you can actually book that initial transformation session to talk about what it is that you're trying to up level in your life, or what's calling for you to change.
There you go, folks. You see, every woman out there needs to figure out how to live with intention. If you're struggling with anything, then you need a coach like Cathy. So reach out to her. A 15-minute session could either change your life or it could transform it. We don't know which would get.
It's up to you, right?
Yeah, but you have to take the initial step, because we are here and you have to take that step. So go ahead and do it, because here's the thing. Life with intention is amazing. You have to know how to tweak the little things. We're not asking you to change everything. We're asking you to see yourself in a different light. So go ahead and do that, because life is too short. I know it. It's happened to me several times. People who have been very close to me have gone, and it's just too short, and you don't want to live with regrets. So take it with a grain of salt with somebody who's gone through it, with like Cathy and somebody like me. Although I did not have cancer and I haven't gone through that, but I've seen several people that I've loved go through illnesses that has shattered their lives, and it's created a lot of heartache and a lot of pain. But we don't want to go through life like that. We have to come back and we have to be resilient. We have to be happy. Make it.
And it's the one thing that everybody says at the end of the day, that they wish they had more time. Right?
Yes. Yes.
So why not take the opportunity to maximize the time you have today?
And make it count. Yes, make your day count. So, ladies and gentlemen, Cathy's here. And if you like what we have to share with you, please go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. And, take your life with a grain of salt. Be happy. And we'll see you next week with another guest, another episode of Munira's Musings. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Munira's Musings with your host, Munira Zahabi. If you enjoyed our show, please share and subscribe to this channel. And for more content, please join our Facebook group.